I lost everything at 21, and that's when my life truly began. Some people are built of steel, and my mother was one of them. For 30 years, I never saw her shed a tear, not when my father left, not when we lost our home, not even when life threw its cruelest punches. She was my rock, my fortress, a woman who faced every storm with an unbreakable gaze. But the day she finally let her guard down, the day I saw her cry, was the day I truly understood the depth of her love, and the day my own world changed forever. My name is Daniel, and I'm 38 years old now, a man who carries the quiet strength of his mother in every step. My story is about the woman who taught me everything, and the one moment, at the very end, that taught me more about her than a lifetime of unwavering resilience ever could. My mother, Eleanor, was a force of nature. When I was 8, my father, Thomas, a charming but restless man in his early 30s, decided he wanted a different life. He just left one morning, a brief note on the kitchen table, and was gone. My world, as an 8-year-old, felt like it had collapsed. But my mother, she just straightened her shoulders, a quiet determination in her eyes. I remember watching her, a small, scared boy, expecting tears, a breakdown, anything. But there was nothing, no tears, no raised voice, just a quiet, focused resolve. She was 32 then, a young woman suddenly alone with a child and a stack of bills. We lost our house soon after, a small, cozy home that held all my childhood memories. I was 10, and I remember the moving truck, the empty rooms, the echo of my own footsteps. I looked at my mother, searching for a crack in her armor, a sign of distress. But her face was calm, her movements efficient. She packed our few belongings, her hands steady, her gaze forward. We moved into a small, cramped apartment, and she started working 2 jobs, sometimes 3. I would wake up in the morning, and she would already be gone. I would go to bed at night, and she would still be out working. Her hands were always tired, her body always aching, but her spirit never wavered. She was a silent warrior, fighting a battle that I, as a child, couldn't fully comprehend. Through my teenage years, life was hard, but Mom never complained. She never showed weakness. I remember one particularly harsh winter when the heating went out in our apartment. I was 16, and it was freezing. I woke up shivering, wrapped in every blanket we owned. My mother was already up, bundled in layers, making me a hot cup of tea. Her nose was red, her breath misted in the cold air, but her eyes held a spark of defiance. She just smiled, a small, tired smile, and told me we were tough, that we could handle anything. She made it feel like an adventure, a challenge to overcome, not a hardship to endure. I wanted to be like her. I wanted to be as strong as her. When I started applying for college, the financial burden was immense. I was 18, and the weight of it felt crushing. I told her I would just get a job, that college wasn't for me. She just looked at me, a quiet, intense look in her eyes. She said, "Daniel, you are going to college. You are going to have a life that is better than mine." She worked even harder, taking on extra shifts, scrimping and saving every penny. I saw the exhaustion etched on her face, the deep lines around her eyes, but still, no tears. Not a single complaint, just that unwavering determination. She was 42 now, and every sacrifice she made was for me. I got into my dream school, and she sent me off with a hug that felt like a lifetime of love. Her eyes were shining with pride, but still, no tears. Not one. I carried that image of her, strong and unyielding, through my entire college life. Years passed. I graduated, started my career, and eventually built a comfortable life. I tried to pay her back, to spoil her, to give her the life she deserved. But she just smiled, a gentle, grateful smile, and told me that her greatest joy was seeing me happy. She was in her early 60s now, a little slower, a little more fragile, but her spirit was as bright as ever. We had our Sunday dinners, quiet, peaceful meals where we would talk for hours. I would tell her about my work, my life, my dreams. She would just listen, her face full of love, of understanding, of a quiet, patient wisdom. She was still my anchor, my home, my everything. Then, the news came. It was a call from her doctor. A diagnosis of advanced pancreatic cancer. She was 67. It was aggressive. There was nothing they could do. My world stopped. I felt a wave of profound, crushing sadness. It was a grief that was so big, so heavy, it felt like it would break me. I rushed to her side, my heart a quiet, sad place, a feeling of dread in the pit of my stomach. I walked into her hospital room, my eyes full of tears, expecting to find her broken, defeated. But she was just Eleanor. Her hair was a little thinner, her face a little paler, but her eyes still held that defiant spark. She just looked at me, a calm, patient look in her eyes. "Daniel," she said, her voice a little weaker, but still strong. "It's okay. We'll fight this." She faced the diagnosis with the same unyielding strength she had faced every other challenge in her life. She underwent treatments, endured the pain, and never once complained. She talked about the future, about the things we would do, about the places we would go. She never let me see her cry. Not once. She was still my rock, my fortress, a woman who faced every storm with an unbreakable gaze. As the days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, her body started to fail. She grew weaker, her energy waned, and the light in her eyes began to dim. I was with her every day, holding her hand, reading to her, just being there. I saw the pain in her eyes, the exhaustion in her body, but still, no tears. She would just look at me, a small, tired smile on her face, and she would tell me that she loved me. What would you do in this situation? How do you cope with the impending loss of someone so incredibly strong? Then came her last day. She was drifting in and out of consciousness, her breathing shallow, her body frail. I was sitting by her bedside, holding her hand, my heart a quiet, sad place, a feeling of profound loss in every beat. The room was quiet, peaceful, filled with the soft glow of the morning sun. I leaned closer, my ear to her lips, trying to catch every whisper, every breath. Suddenly, her eyes fluttered open. They were still bright, still full of that defiant spark, but there was something else there now. Something I had never seen before. A vulnerability, a raw, profound sadness. She looked at me, her gaze steady, and then, slowly, a single tear escaped her eye. It traced a slow path down her cheek, a shimmering testament to a lifetime of unspoken grief, a lifetime of suppressed pain. And then another, and another. Her eyes, usually so dry, so unyielding, were now overflowing. It wasn't a sob, it wasn't a cry of despair. It was a quiet, gentle release. A lifetime of tears, finally set free. It was the most heartbreaking, most beautiful thing I had ever witnessed. In that moment, I realized that her strength wasn't about the absence of tears. It was about her choice to shield me from them, to carry her burdens in silence, to be my unwavering pillar of strength. Her tears, on her last day, weren't a sign of weakness. They were a final, profound act of love. They were her way of telling me that it was okay to be sad, that it was okay to grieve, that it was okay to be human. They were her final lesson. I just sat there, holding her hand, watching the tears stream down her face, and I cried with her. I cried for the life she had lived, for the sacrifices she had made, for the love she had given me. I cried for the woman who never let me see her cry, until her very last day. And in that moment, I truly understood the depth of her love, and the quiet, fierce strength that lay beneath her unyielding exterior. She wasn't just my mother, she was a force of nature, a silent warrior, a woman who taught me that true strength isn't about never falling, but about always getting back up, even when no one is watching. Her last breath was a quiet whisper, a gentle sigh. The room was filled with a profound silence. But in that silence, I heard a different kind of strength. I heard the echo of her love. I heard the echo of her spirit. And I knew that she was still with me, in every step I took, in every challenge I faced, in every quiet moment of my life. She never let me see her cry until her last day, and that single act taught me more about love, strength, and vulnerability than any other moment in my life. It was her final, most powerful lesson. What do you think? Do we truly understand the strength of the people we love until they are gone? And how do we carry their lessons forward? Let me know in the comments below. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to support our channel.